Oh well, then yeah. Burn unit? Sorry, just have to test this. Okay.
Rule.
Okay, I guess that works. Oh good lord, he even burns while he's still on the ground. My cruelty no boundaries. Well, that guy's an idiot, and he's gonna blow up in 3 minutes. Okay then, so if you go over here to our good old friend, you can basically open up your medical menu by just pressing H. If you're not looking at anyone, it will open your own. If you're looking at someone, it will open theirs. Does it work, or do you get the hint thingies? Okay, good. Yeah. Then you can see on the top left, you can see the name, and there's an option to the right hand side where you can toggle between yourself and the other person you're looking at. Yeah, that's important. Sometimes it just doesn't really work, and you just have to get a bit closer, a little bit more precisely at him, and then it should work. Yeah. You can do some basic examination. You can check pulse, blood pressure, and cyanosis. That is like the first option after the triage card. Triage card essentially just tells you what has been done already. You know what his status is. But yeah. Yeah. Bear in mind that some options are only available on certain limbs. For example, if you click on the torso, you can only check the pulse there. Whilst if you click on the arms, you can check pulse, blood pressure, and cyanosis. Not really. Like, the values won't differ from body part to body part. But some specific things can only be done on certain points. For example, if you click on the head there, you've got most options. You've got pulse, you've got response, you've got dog tags, you've got breath, and you've got cyanosis. Cyanosis is essentially, if he's suffering from oxygen or low oxygen level, then he'll turn blue, and that's called cyanosis. But yeah, the most important things are actually just pulse and blood pressure. And maybe response, but response is kind of blood pressure is usually on the arms. Yeah, arms or legs. You kind of don't want to check the blood pressure in his head, because then he's probably going to suffer from different problems as well. So, usually, if you want to treat someone, you will need a wound to do so. So I'm just going to shoot him in the leg for a moment. There we go. Now we've got a beautiful, beautiful wound on the leg. You can... Yeah, now you can see the light orange, which tells you that there's a smaller injury sustained. If you now click on the left, bandages and fractures become available. Exactly. Exactly. On the basic kit, I have brought along 3 types of bandages. Packing, elastic, and quick clot. Essentially, the one that's most frequently used is packing bandages, since that's... I mean, not exactly the best, because each of them have their uses, but packing bandages are mostly used for larger wounds and wounds that are connected to, bullet wounds. Like, a shot to the to the knee or leg. It usually is best treated with a packing bandage. Although elastic bandages can also work, they might be less efficient though. Elastic bandages usually are better for anything else that is... I mean, it is kind of statistically based. Like, there's set values for each bandage and each type of injury to work.
User disconnected from your channel.
Exactly. So, you know, mostly, like... Yeah?
Which ones did we have again? Like, which ones were there?
Packing, elastic, and quick lot.
Alright, basically packing is if you want to stuff a hole. Elastic if you want to wrap the hole up and keep it together.
Basically. So
At
you
least
can
that's how I
imagine...
remember it.
Yeah, basically. Like, essentially anything that leaves a large part, like, you know, a velocity wound, which is usually a projectile entering or exiting the body, or a avulsion, which is like part of the body actually being ripped out by such, usually require packing bandages, and most other things like cuts, bruises, and stuff like that, you can just use elastic bandages on. Shrapnel? Yeah, probably then elastic would be more useful, but packing will also work. Quick clot bandages are less efficient at bandaging things itself, but
They're fast.
well, first of all, they're fast, and second of all, they're less likely to reopen than other bandages. Remember that wounds can always reopen as long as they're not stitched. And for stitching, you'll usually require a medic. So yeah, I mean, everyone can stitch. Like, I've given everyone the medical permissions, but you'll have to carry a stitching kit on you, or the person has to have a stitching kit on themselves. I mean, no. Like, if he's got it on him, you can use it on him.
Exactly, you'll ultimately take it out of their inventory.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Walker, I think you got the wrong mod.
What? Oh, I connected.
You immediately got disconnected. Because you still have the wrong mods, apparently.
What do you mean? Wrong mods?
Well, it just gave me a... It just gave you a wrong mod server key.
I see.
No, essentially, if you're full of bullet holes, then it's usually better to use a packing bandage. So, you know, just stuff the holes.
Did you change your mods or something? Because I have 40 mods in total. Yes.
I think it's only 39, but I'm not too certain actually at the moment. Let me check. Mm-hmm. No, it should be 40 mods. I don't know why it kicked you then. Are your mods up to date?
They were when I started. Maybe because I was tapped out.
Try again. Sometimes it's just a bit buggy, but yeah. Not exactly. Like, first of all, the one that prevents reopening is the quick clot. That bandage. Yeah. The issue with that is that it usually only partially seals wounds, and that oftentimes is actually not enough. Like, it will take you longer to actually use the bandage and patch it up than to just... No, because you cannot apply bandages upon closed wounds. Like, for example, you already bandaged his leg and you see... Yeah, exactly. But what you can do if you notice that the wound keeps reopening, then just slap a quick clot on top of it. Like, if you've already bandaged it... Yeah, like if you've already bandaged it once and you notice, okay, the wound has reopened, then use a quick clot. You might have to use 2 quick clots even at the time, because they usually reduce the wound in size quite a lot. But yeah. Another important part is tourniquets. They will be marked by the large blue barrier on arms or legs. Yeah, you should have like 4 tourniquets on your basic kit. one for each limb. Yeah. Essentially, tourniquets. I apply one to the leg. You can also remove it again, or you apply it to any other limb. The point about tourniquets is to essentially stop the entire limb from bleeding for the time. You essentially just cut the entire blood flow on that limb, and that way you will not lose any more blood than what's in that limb at the moment. Which can prevent you from, passing out. If you, for example, if you're in a helicopter crash and you've taken severe injuries everywhere, you should always start with tourniquets on your arms and legs, just because they're quick and they'll immediately stop any bleeding on those parts. So you can worry then about your head and your chest, and afterwards you can go back to bandaging the arms and legs. Well, it depends on first of all the situation, and on how many injuries you've sustained. Like, let's say that you've got like 10 injuries on that leg. It's definitely advisable to first of all pull a tourniquet on there. Also, yes, it will. Exactly, it will tell you how many wounds there are, how many of them are open at the current moment, how many of them are sealed. It will show that with a little B. If you look at our little friend over here, Leventis, you've got the B, which is for bandaged. And later on, if you stitch it up, it will come S, but that's more for medics. But yeah, also where it's kind of smart to use a tourniquet is in a combat situation, when you've just have little time to patch yourself up. Then just slap a tourniquet if it's just your arms and your legs, and then you can keep fighting. Just remember that tourniquets are no permanent deal, because after some time they will hurt like hell. Your entire limb is cut from blood flow, and after a few moments it will start hurting. Usually around 10 minutes is the most you should have it on.
Which is also an amazing way to prank someone. Because they won't notice they've got a tourniquet on usually. It just
Yes.
unless they check their medicals.
No, they'll notice that they'll have huge pain. Just be wary when you've got a tourniquet placed on someone, because if you now check the pulse on the tourniqueted limb, you're gonna notice. Exactly. Because, there is no blood pressure in that limb right now. There is no pulse there. Another important thing, if you've sustained a major injury on your leg and you've tourniqueted it for some time, then you took your time to bandage it, do not immediately remove the tourniquet afterwards, because if you do that, your body is going to fill up your leg with blood volume again, and your blood pressure is going to drop into the bottomless, potentially killing you. So wait until the medic has actually given you some fluids again.
Saline, baby.
I mean, essentially, okay, let's imagine, right? You shoot, you take a lot of wounds to the leg, yeah? Okay, you're in a combat scenario, so you decide to put a tourniquet on your leg. That stops you from losing excessive blood from the rest of your body, but your leg is still bleeding in that sense. So your leg is losing all the blood while the rest of your body retains its normal volume. Yeah. Exactly. So as soon as you remove the tourniquet, your blood will fill that volume up again, and your blood pressure will drop. Yeah, there's a good chance you might pass out. So make sure that you receive some fluids. If you only lost a little bit of blood, if it was like a few injuries and you almost immediately took care of them, you can move them again, no problem. But in case you're worried, then just let someone know, just in case you pass out.
Your doctor should inform you of this, by the way.
Also, another importance, medication and tourniquets, which brings us to the next step, medication. You've got 2 basic medications on you. You can choose to bring a third one, but I'll explain that in a bit. Actually, no, you've got 3 medications, sorry, but I'll explain step by step. First of all, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna teach you the next step in the pranking process right now.
No, Mergam, later. Okay, so let's start with a very, very simple and very, very harmless medication. If you click on the head, and then you go to the medication tab, you've got painkillers. They're they're your easiest way to relieve some pain. But it won't help you a lot if you've taken a fucking bullet wound to chest. Your painkillers won't do a lot. Like, painkillers are nice. You've got a bunch of them. You've got like 10 per package. But nonetheless, they're not as efficient. The next... Nah, that's the reason why I like to say painkillers are idiot-proof.
It's aspirin. It's literally just an aspirin. You can eat those things like Tic Tac.
Okay, I mean, yeah, in here it's, no problem. Next up, you've got morphine. Morphine
That's
is...
the big one.
Yeah, morphine is a bit of the next step on the ladder. It will relieve quite a... Yeah, it will relieve quite a bit of pain. But it will also cause your blood to circulate slower, so your blood pressure will drop when you use it. So do be careful with that.
Painkillers, bigger brother.
Lower blood pressure and you'll pass out at some point. I mean, yeah, you will hear your heart beating and, you'll just... At some point, you'll just...
Which is weird, though. You should not hear that at all. Like, if you have high blood pressure, maybe, but low, no.
I mean, yeah, but, for the game, it's just a way to show that, hey, there's something wrong with you, do check it out. But yeah, that's okay. Essentially, the same, like, low blood pressure is essentially also what happens if you get shot. Like, either you die of the immediate shock, but, usually it's a blood loss. The low volume of blood makes the blood pressure drop, and thereby you die because... It's not that much, but yeah, you have to... Your body can compensate quite a bit, but yeah.
How much blood does the usual human body have? Like 8 liters?
7.
7. Yeah, close enough.
Depending on the build. But yeah.
That's high low, probably.
Yeah, essentially, you've got, you usually read like 116 over 77. The first number should be 20, like, the basic value is 20 to 80. So 20 over 80. But, that's more for the actual medics. You as a person just need to realize, okay, is it like... Yeah, like, is it just fucking 200, then it's high. If it's 100, then it's low. $120 to 80. But once again, you don't need to remember the exact number. Just check the pulse. Pulse should usually be around 80. Okay, also right now, on our good friend Leventus, you can see that he's in pain now. That is because of his tourniquet that we still have on him. So, we might want to relieve him of that, or he might pass out due to pain. No, that won't help him. You're cutting the blood flow to his entire limb. That hurts like hell. A painkiller will not save him. But yeah. So morphine could work, but it will also drop his blood pressure even more. To counter that, you've got epinephrine. Epinephrine will essentially kickstart your heart a little and raise your heart rate by quite a bit, in turn also raising the blood pressure.
Hey Ben, have you ever heard the word?
Adrenaline. Yes, but the issue is epinephrine does not last for very long. Like, just will only be a temporary effect. It's really only if your blood pressure is very low and you want to keep yourself conscious for a bit more, or you want to wake someone up. Technically, as an but yeah, it's more of an counter to morphine. So if you take morphine, your blood pressure drops low. You can take an epinephrine right after to keep your blood pressure stable. However, do be wary. Morphine has an effective duration for about 10 minutes, epinephrine for like 1 or 2 minutes. So, be wary of that.
Also, don't forget, morphine is addictive as fuck.
Not in the game, thankfully. But yeah. Also, one final warning, which is the point that Mergen was about to bring up. Tourniquet is a medication.
Mm-hmm.
If you inject medication into a tourniqueted limb, so if we were to inject medication into his leg right now, it wouldn't take effect because it doesn't get into the actual body circulation. So if you then remove the tourniquet, all of a sudden all the medication in that limb will be distributed into the entire system. So if you inject like 3 morphine sticks into his leg because you're thinking, hey, it's not taking effect, it's not taking effect, not taking effect, and then you open up the limb, he's probably gonna die. I don't think so, no. I haven't tested that one yet, to be honest. Also doesn't really matter. But yeah, those are like the very, very basics. There's just one more thing that we might have to look at, which is fractures. Yes, splint. I mean, technically this is only one medium velocity wound. You could easily just bandage it. But tourniquet is also a good one. So yeah. Yeah, you can just hit escape. Usually that game cancels it. Yep, there you go. Bandage. No. Sometimes it just depends, it was a mere medium velocity wound. Medium wounds are not that much of a problem. You see now to change your partial medium wound on the right leg because you use the quick clot. Quick clots, reduce the wounds bit by bit. So I'm just gonna slap another one there and done. That will probably not open up for quite some time. I mean, no, it doesn't really tell you, but the partial wounds are like very, very easy to bandage. But yeah, and now you just dealt with this fracture. If you the splint. Yeah, no, like you can't really remove the splint. Like it's there. The only thing is,
Also, removing it while it's not done is gonna hurt like hell.
The only thing is that with the new update of the medical mod, the splint isn't a full fix to it. Sometimes you might need a medic to do the more finicky stuff.
Fixing the bone.
Yeah, but once again, you do not need to concern yourself with that. So yeah, that's the very basics of treatment. Now there's just one more thing that I would like to teach you when it ever comes down to it. Finding someone who's unconscious. There's another important step about unconscious people, which is of course their lungs. They need to breathe, and usually unconscious people have. But yeah. So what you want to do if someone asks you for airway management is quite simple. You click on the head, then the option of airway management will become available. You've got 3 options here: hyperextend head turning, and check airways. Checking airways tells you what's up with the airways. It will usually tell you, okay, obstruction not occluded. And now what you do if, for example, he starts vomiting? Exactly.
The airway.
Yeah. Exactly. Now in this case, head turning only removes a current occlusion, or vomit, but not future ones. So you'll have to check up from it from time to time.
Wait, hold up. Head turning prevents future ones.
No.
Clearing airways just clears this one out.
No. In this game, not.
What?
In this game, if you want, if you want him to actually not throw up constantly, you'll have to click on his chest, go to advanced treatment, and then establish recovery position.
Okay.
Exactly. But yeah, now I established the recovery position, which will prevent you from performing CPR, but it will actually prevent him from throwing up in his airways. Now we can show you. You click on the torso, and then you've got the option advanced management, advanced treatments. There you can cancel. There you can cancel the recovery position again. So you turn him back onto his back, and then you've got the option again to do CPR, which is to keep his heart going, and then you've got recovery position, which will prevent him from throwing up in his own mouth and suffocating. You don't have to do it from time to time. Like, no. Don't just randomly do things. Think. If he has a heartbeat, and everything is managed, then you can establish the recovery position. If everything is managed, because that will prevent him from throwing up into his own mouth again. So, so now it would make sense. And if we just quickly check the air, yeah. I mean, no, it's essentially just turning him on the side. You know what you do, like in real life first aid? You hyperextend the head, and then you... Exactly. If his heart stops beating, then you start performing CPR. But once again, at that point you should probably call a medic. And then he will take over most likely, but it's already good if someone starts CPR. Importantly though, make sure that you're safe primarily. That is still the first and foremost concern for anyone, their own life. Okay. Also, you've got the options in there to drag and carry them as well. Dragging is slower, but it will actually allow you to still fire your weapon. Like I can grab him and then you have to shoot. I cannot aim though while dragging people, so bear that in mind. But it's quick. It's to quickly just grab someone, drag them to safety. If you want to go, for short ways. If you want to, yeah, he did. If you want to transport someone the longer way, carrying is more effective since it will take some time to establish. So under fire, this is like a very, very bad thing to do. But if you're safe and you want to move him to like the truck or something, then this is way faster than just. Yeah, that's the basics of medicine. There's not much else to do. Cyanosis is if he cannot breathe proper. Like right now he's got a. Yeah, that indicates that something is wrong with his airways, and you should check his airways again. I mean, I can also tell you he just vomited in his own throat, and he cannot breathe. He's suffocating on his own vomit, so that's the reason why he's turning blue right now. That means mitigated means it's dealt with for now, but it's still occluded. Occluded means there's vomit. So now you do the head turning. And then it will either tell you on the top right, it will give you a little message which will tell you either, hooray, you've done it, or nah, it will need more. Yep, precisely. Well, and usually he would also need some blood. Like, he won't wake up from this. He will need blood, otherwise, Yep, he won't get back up from that unless he gets some. I mean, the thing is, the effect of epinephrine is not that much that you can, just wake someone up with it. Like, if he lost that amount of blood, let's quickly check his blood pressure. Right now, he's got a blood pressure of 124 to 83, which is a bit too high. That's basically good, but you notice as well that his heart rate is at 120 almost. And his leg reopened. Yeah. Essentially, the heart rate is connected to blood pressure. So only if both values are within order, then you've got a good chance of waking him up. Otherwise, he won't wake up. Like right now, his heart. I mean, it would probably raise his blood pressure, but it doesn't actually change the actual issue. Exactly. You need blood bags or saline, exactly. Which is okay, since that is the job of the medic. So I'll just quickly grab my medic gear. I'll give him a quick little... Yes. His body back, exactly. You don't have a fast IO. I don't have a fast IO. Hang on. I think someone stole my IOs. Oh, I have one.
No, it just makes he's.
Yeah, if he's awake or not. I
No,
mean,
he's not going to tell you like what to do.
what you can do though is sometimes when someone has taken a more of a shock wound, for example, let's say someone gets hit in the chest by a bullet. That shit hurts like hell. It's probably gonna knock him out cold. He might not have sustained a major blood loss, but he will have that wound on his chest. So what you can do to help him wake up is you can reorientate a patient. To do that, you click on his head, and you go to medication, and then you've got the option reorientate patient, and you will hear a quick slap. There you go. You heard a slap, but he's still not waking up because he's right now not. I mean, not exactly shock, but just pain knockout essentially. But if someone. Yes, absolutely.
There's a lot of things actually.
I mean, yeah, pain also makes you run
Decrease
slower, makes your
your
weapon.
blood pressure, or was it
I mean,
like
hardly.
shock? Basically, does a lot of things. Run slower as well.
I mean, a shock, yeah, but pain also reduces your accuracy. Your weapon. Yeah, and essentially it will also decrease your field of vision by the active blinking of your screen on the side, and all things like that. Exactly. Like painkillers are nice in between.
I mean, not OP. They are good at what they're supposed to do.
Quickly shove a tube down his throat.
What
That's
now?
okay. An oximeter, pulse oximeter is essentially a device to check the pulse and the oxygen in his blood.
You know
Yeah, to your finger.
You know how they have in the hospitals the little beep 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 device that tells you when, hey, someone is dying. It's that.
Morphine only when extreme pain occurs, and epinephrine mostly when epinephrine. Don't do it into the tourniqueted limb. Every other limb is fine, but just not any limbs that have a tourniquet on them.
I just blew up an entire fucking skyscraper just to get this sniper on the roof.
Okay.
I'm playing Fencer, who'd have thunk?
Yeah. Um, once again, do not inject any medication into the limb that is tourniqueted at the moment. Never ever. It will not. No,
It's
no,
not
no,
gonna do shit.
no. Like the thing is, right? If you inject it into the limb that is tourniqueted, it's not going to enter the body system. It will never reach any of. I mean, if you do it deliberately, yes, but why would you do that? It will delay the effects. Like, then you like if you want to make it less effective, you shouldn't be using it in the first place. Like those things are emergency medications, either do or die. Exactly. Like so he's in severe pain right now, so technically a morphine shot would be absolutely nice. Or we just push him some fentanyl, just to make it even more of an addict. Don't do it because I'm right now, just give him some fentanyl. But yeah. You notice how like a few seconds ago I injected him with something similar to morphine, and his pain has already gone down by quite a bit. Yeah, you see now he's just now he's good. He might also be addicted to fentanyl now, but that's another story. But yeah. Yes, they have to. Because fucking morphine is some. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like fucking any opiates are. You should ask the patient first if he's okay with that. Like working with morphine patients, trust me, it ain't fun. Okay, but yeah. And you also have to determine when someone is not savable.
Yeah, if they're just going to die, alright. If they're going to die, you know, it's gonna be a waste of time and effort. To say.
Peace, soldier. Check what you're bandaging. Check the source and check the range. He's dead, peace soldier. He doesn't have a helmet on, then he's dead. Same when eyeball you. Peace soldier, from this range, most likely it's just gonna splatter your brain all over the place. So just don't bother.
Hey, oh, you could cosplay as the Canadian Health Service. Oh, you just got a small cut. Oh, we can't save you. Bye bye.
Okay, but let's check what was wrong with Warcry's mods.
I'm verifying. I'm verifying everything. That's
Canadian healthcare service. Ah, broken finger? Consider dying. No, that's America. In Canada, they just literally kill you. They legalized euthanasia, and it's cheaper than actually. Yeah, it's cheaper than actually taking care of someone.
I mean, yes.
Yes, that's why they always like, hey, if you consider dying.
yeah. I've seen the memes.
Have you considered killing yourself? Shouldn't you be trying to stop me from doing that? Oh no. That's way too expensive.
You'd be like, oh, but sir, I just have a small cut on my pinky. Nah, euthanasia for you.
It's the most. They do.
I think they do.
Like, hey, if you're gonna go with these euthanasia, we can help you with, like, gravestone and shit. That'd be. The game is so slow on the first level.
Frag out.
But yeah, Beast Soldier. The funny. You know how tourniquet check is funny? You just tourniquet someone sneakily from behind while they're focused on something else, and then after a couple of minutes, there is the double whammy where you just also give him morphine in that arm or leg or two.
What would fun be in that?
Exactly.
You'll just have to check yourself from time to time. What you have to know, or you have to trust your teammates. Actually, good point. Does this actually work? What I implemented? No, it does not. Huh.
You
By
can't
C4,
sadly enough. You
just
can't
take the
attach it to
grenade,
people.
take the grenade, remove the pin, and place it at his inventory. Problem solved.
I mean, what you can do is just take a smoke grenade and pull the pin. People will still hear the pin sound and think, "Oh fuck, grenade!" Which is kind of funny.
Even funnier if it were a flashbang, but don't have. The Russians have a different style in which they just use artillery.
But yeah, that's basically it for now, P-Soldier. I'm just quickly going to disconnect because I need to check something. Because something is not working as it is intended to work. Epinephrine?
Epinephrine.
To raise someone's heart rate. Like, usually, when you want to use it is, for example, if you got shot severely and you're about to pass out. Like, you can already hear, you can already see only gray and stuff. It can be used to, just give you a little bit of a punch to, just pull you through a hard time until, you had time to deal with your bandages. Normalizing is not, it raises, it does not normalize it. It's just exactly, but essentially what epinephrine does, it increases your heart rate. And yes, and for example, also when you take morphine, sometimes it is that the morphine actually plummets you too low. Like, sometimes it's really just the morphine, because morphine lowers your blood pressure again. Exactly, so it can help you to, just take the morphine without passing out from it. But, once again, it is absolutely a emergency medication. This is not something that you should take on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. Yes, there is still a very real thing that you will pass out once the effects wear off. Exactly, but that's only to give you time to get to your medic and get yourself some blood into your system, or at least stabilize yourself and tell people where to find you. Just keep you alive that much longer. Seconds matter. No. No, you should not, but you should definitely seek a medic. Anyway, I'll have to leave because I'm getting a call. I'll see you later.